The fifth ghost in the Black Zodiac should be seen as a cautionary tale. What happens when you let your ego drive your decisions? But before we watch a brief video, I'm gonna go ahead and lead with my normal content warnings. If you're not prepared for a ghost story, please go ahead and exit. And now, let's get into the video.
The Torn Prince was a boy born in 1940 by the name of Royce Clayton. At 17, Royce was a star slugger on his baseball team. Every college in the country courted him, all offering first-class tickets out of his miserable small-town life. But fate threw Royce a curveball in the form of a local greaser who challenged him to a drag. Royce held his own for the first half-mile, then suddenly lost control of his little sweetheart. The hot rod flipped 3 times before bursting into flames. His peers watched in horror as the fire engulfed their fallen hero. Needless to say, he never escaped his small-town life. His remains still buried in a small plot overlooking his beloved ball field.
Now, the Torn Prince is the 5th sign of the Black Zodiac, making him the equivalent of a Leo. And to me, of all of the signs on this list, the Torn Prince characterizes his sign the best, when they're at their worst. When they're great, but when they're bad, they're the worst. And the Torn Prince is no exception to that. He was cocky, arrogant, held a superiority complex in life, and it cost him his life at the end. But at his best, he was a star baseball player, quite handsome, he was modeled after James Dean, and had all of the potential in the world. Too bad he squandered it, though. Now, according to 13 Ghost lore, it's alleged that on the night of the race, Royce should have won. However, it's speculated that the greaser he was battling at the time cut his brake line so that he couldn't. And this is what resulted in his death, not just bad driving skills. I'm starting to realize there's a trend amongst the fire signs of the Black Zodiac. Of the 2 that I've covered so far, neither one of them has been able to turn down a duel. I guess it's that competitive nature. For instance, the firstborn son lost his life in a Cowboys versus Indians style battle, and then our Torn Prince here lost his life during a drag race. Neither of them could turn down the glory that comes with winning. It's a shame. And similar to the firstborn son and the angry princess, Royce is one of those ghosts that was likely corrupted in the house, because there's no indication in life that he was ever violent. However, when we see his ghost inside of the basement, he's extremely aggressive. He wields the bat that he carried in life. In death, he becomes extremely aggressive upon encountering both Arthur and Dennis. In fact, he almost kills the both of them. Luckily, they had the containment cell's doors and they were able to trap him before he could do any real damage. Much like the other ghost down in the basement, the Torn Prince has a set of sounds that signify his presence or arrival. In his case, he's signified by a loud moaning or wailing, likely the sounds that he made when he was dying. That being said, if you were to encounter the Torn Prince down in the basement, you would need to do your best to get away from him as quickly as possible. This is because the way he holds his bat in life is the same way he holds his bat in death. And remember, this guy was bound for the major leagues at one point, so if he were to connect with any part of your body, it would likely be over for you. Now, one of the saddest things about this particular story is the fact that the Torn Prince had everything going for him. Sadly, he let that ego get in the way. This is the case of somebody being a big fish in a small pond. So to me, this is why the Torn Prince is definitely a cautionary tale more than anything, and not to lead with your emotions if you can help it. But anyways, let me know what you think of the Torn Prince. Who do you think we should see next? And I will see you guys in my next video.